Folks, it is Steve the drummer at YouTube.com, bringing yesterday's music into tomorrow, continuing the saga of F Note versus Roland. Recent trade-in. I traded in on my F Note 5, F Note 7 gear and purchased the Roland, I should say repurchased the Roland TD50, and actually this time I got the TD50X module with the KV2 drum set. So in the previous videos we talked about the hi-hats, comparing, doing an A-B comparison, comparing the F Note hi-hats and the Roland hi-hats. The second installment was the snare drum, and this is the third installment, and today we are going to talk about the cymbals. In particular, we're going to talk about the crashes and splashes and rides and stuff like that, and then I might circle back and make a couple of comments about the hi-hats as we go. So here we go, part 3, F Note versus Roland, talking about cymbals today. I'm going to start off playing some crash cymbals. I'm going to start off with the Roland, and then we'll talk a little bit, and then we'll circle back around to the F Note. See you soon. So as we start off here, kind of segue between the Roland cymbals and the F Note cymbals, a couple of things I want to point out as we move forward here. Number one, Roland developed their thin series cymbals, and I can't remember the code letters they have for them, but nonetheless they developed their thinner cymbals. And I bought a couple of those cymbals a few years ago with another kit that I had, and then when I traded everything in, all that stuff went away, and now I've got those thin cymbals again. And I've got to say that my experience generally has been good. I know that there has been some issues with some of the build quality of some of the cymbals that came out somewhere. I'm going to go back and guess maybe around 2021 or so. I didn't experience any issues with that with my previous thinner cymbals that Roland put out, and I have not experienced. Obviously, I've only had these for a very short period of time, so I haven't experienced any of that either. With the cymbals that I just got. The one thing that I do like about the Roland cymbals versus the F Note cymbals is Roland uses a little device, an anti-rotation device on their cymbals, and I'll show a couple of pictures to kind of talk a little bit about what I'm talking about. And F Note kind of tries to solve the same problem a different way. I mean, obviously crash cymbals in particular, and to some degree ride cymbals and other cymbals are going to spin on the stands when you play them, and so this is when you have something that's plugged in, this is kind of something that needs to be solved. And so the way Roland solves the problem is with the anti-rotation stopper, basically on the stand that it's mounted to. And that actually works really, really well. I've got to say, I've used many Roland cymbals over the years, and never really had any major issues. F Note and honestly ATV2 attempt to solve this problem a different way, and that is by using the little thing on the stand that the cord goes in to. If you plug the cord into the cymbal and then run the cord through the thing on the stand, then that's supposed to prevent the cymbal from spinning or spinning excessively. I think this is maybe a less effective method in keeping your cymbals from spinning. Now, you could argue with the F Note stuff it's less important because you have 360 triggering, and the 360 triggering is kind of cool in all honesty, and when I play the F Note cymbals here in a second, you'll see that, but I don't know how practical it is. It's cool, but I don't know how practical it is. Also, talking about the Roland versus F Note cymbals, Roland, like I said, has the thin cymbals. They've got the 16-inch thins, and I think they just came out with 14s, or maybe they've had 14s all along. F Note has, I believe they have 14-inch crashes. They have 16-inch crashes, they have an 18-inch crash ride, and they have a 20-inch ride, and they also have the little bitty splash. And I think they've also got an EFX cymbal that comes with the 7X, and as they further develop their line. So both companies, in all honesty, have kind of some cool products. F Note maybe has more. They've put more things out there, and like I said, as far as the anti-rotation thing, they're just kind of going about it a different way. So let's dive into some F Note cymbals, and we'll be right back again to talk to you. So transitioning from the crash cymbals to the ride cymbals, leading off with the Roland cymbal. So the Roland cymbal, obviously one of their big claims to fame is the digital ride that's been out now for probably at least 5 or 6 years now. I want to say it came out with the TD50 module originally in like 2016 or 2017. So actually that's probably closer to 7 or 8 years. It's the digital aspect of the ride, which has been around, and then the hi-hats which were recently released over the last couple of years. I mean, that's a big step forward in terms of triggering quality, and obviously both the rides and the hi-hats are extremely nuanced cymbals. So that's a big plus, and we'll kind of dive right back in here, and I'm going to play the Roland ride cymbal first, and then I'm going to segue out of that into the F note ride cymbal, which is a 20-inch ride cymbal, the largest ride cymbal at this point in the industry. Also a great cymbal, and really and truly having the bigger sizes from F note, having the 20-inch ride and the 15-inch floor tom were certainly some nice things to have, 20-inch bass drum and all that. But one of the big things that I see about sizes, whether you're talking about the sizes of cymbals or your snare drum or your bass drum or the toms or whatever, is I think that more important than having large sizes is having everything appropriately sized. It doesn't really look right, in my opinion, to have a 14-inch snare and like 8-inch toms, or a 20-inch bass drum and a 12-inch snare drum, or 18 and 20-inch cymbals and 10-inch drums. So when it comes down to thinking about the whole sizing issue, in my opinion, it's not only, there's like sweet spots. 16-inch crashes are good, 18-inch, 20-inch ride is good, and 13, 14-inch hi-hats, 13, 14-inch snare drum. But the thing is everything kind of has to be proportional, at least in my mind. I think that it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm weird. It's all right. So anyhow, let's play some ride cymbals. All right, so let's get down to some conclusions here. What do I really think about all this? And at the end of the day, who really cares what I think about all this? But nonetheless, dealing with the cymbals, I think you've kind of got like 3 or 4 different aspects to look at here. One of the thrusts of this video, as far as all the equipment, as far as the hi-hats, as far as the snare drum, the cymbals, and future videos that I'm going to make about other components, one of the big things that I'm trying to address is tracking. When I play a note, does what comes out, is that what I was intending to convey? And obviously, technique aside, we all have our limitations on what we can and can't do and what we can and can't play. But is the cymbal and or the module giving us the result that we're looking for? Is it tracking consistently what we're playing? And I've got to say, honestly, in both cases, the answer is absolutely yes. Both the F note 5 and the 7, and the Roland TD27 stuff, TD50 stuff, and the cymbals that go with that, and honestly, well beyond all that stuff. All that stuff tracks really well. For the most part, what I play is what comes out. The next, so there's the tracking, there's the triggering. The second part of that equation, though, is the samples. And this is where I've really kind of got to give F note props, and I think it really shines through the most in the cymbals. To some degree in some of the drum samples, but the cymbals especially. In all fairness, in my opinion, once again, F Note has better sounding cymbals. The cymbals the samples that they have in the module typically just come out sounding better. Now, I will say that, once again, circling back with the Roland stuff, especially the TD27 and the TD50, you have a lot of editing options, and you have a lot of opportunity to kind of shape things the way you want to. However, I think that F Note starts from a better position in terms of all this. Main claim to fame for Roland: digital hi-hats. Play the note. You can choke it with your hand if you want to or need to. I don't know, unless you're playing like 1930s and 1940s swing jazz, I don't know many people that are choking their hi-hats with their hands. But it does kind of talk to the quality of the triggering and the sensitivity, and the same is obviously very much so true with the ride cymbal. And looking at the F Note stuff, they've got a wide line of products all the way down to an 8-inch splash, all the way up to a 20-inch ride cymbal. All the cymbals, whether you're talking about digital or not, they all choke, just fine. There's really no issues with that, at least at this point anyway. I don't know as they progress, as they wear, if that's going to become an issue. And then, like I say, in my mind, the one of the other things that F Note really has going for it is the 360 triggering, whereas Roland, you're really going to only trigger from about half the cymbal. But with the anti-rotation devices that they have in place, it's really not a factor. I don't really even give that a second thought when I'm playing the Roland kit. These are my conclusions. These are my thoughts. F Note has better samples. Both lines have some really good features to them, some really good features that produce some good benefits. The proof's going to be in the pudding. How well does this stuff last? I don't know. Maybe I'll make another video 5 years from now and let you know how it all turned out. Hope you guys have a great day. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Look forward to seeing your comments, and let's start a dialogue. Take care.